my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on a Friday, the 20th of 2023.
Playoff.
We are in playoff mode. Thank you.
Divisional round.
Divisional round.
Got through wildcard.
Very excited. Very excited. Ryan's in the house. Got the studio rock and rolling. The lights look great today. New gear. Looks great. Listen to Herm Edwards.
You don't play to just play it.
And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. You don't play just to play it. It's the greatest thing about sports.
Hey.
And it is.
It is.
It is the greatest thing about sports. We're in the greatest time about sports for the NFL season, and that is the playoffs. We got through Super Wild Card Weekend. I think we got through with relatively what people assume was going to happen, except for really one game. And when I say that, people are going to say, "Oh, it must have been the Minnesota game." I think a lot of people were on the Giants.
Say Dallas, it wasn't. That was a close.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean
27-0. 27 zip, bro. 27 zip.
Yeah.
They go down. They score at halftime, which was great. To cut it to 27-7, down 20. Come out in the second half. So, because it was over the weekend, because we do have kids, we have things to do. Jurassic Park, the original OG movie, was showing in the theaters at Harkins. So I bought us tickets to go see it. But it was like an 8:20 showing, okay? So that game was on, but I mean, it was already halftime. So I'm like, I'm actually not going to miss anything. So we go in, we're watching the movie. I decide to go out, use the restroom, and at this, surprise, surprise, it's new Harkins. Or not new to me because I don't ever go to Harkins, but Harkins, they had a little bar. So as I'm walking out, because they have TVs up there, I see the game-winning kick. And Jacksonville complete the entire comeback. Like,
there's so many memes of Chargers fans falling asleep.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I know we did.
This could happen. We obviously took Jacksonville. So first off, first day, we were both absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
That Niners game, what did we say? If you go back and roll the tape, ladies and gentlemen, we said, I could see it being close, even tied at halftime. They were down 1 point at halftime. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that they would win by 17, and they won by 18. Like, that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is about as close as we can actually get it. You know what I'm saying? To being correct. Now, Sunday wasn't so much the case as the Giants won, which was disgusting to watch. And the other game, which eludes me, the Cincinnati game.
Ravens.
Listen, the Ravens gave them all they had. Had a chance to actually win that game.
So is that a statement by Lamar not playing? And, I mean, that's a game that you got to win, right? Like, is it him saying to the team that he knows that they're going to not sign him?
No, look, I think it's from this standpoint. If you're not 100% and you rely on that ability of that's what makes you Lamar.
It was just careful.
I think it was 50-50. I don't think that there was not a business decision made.
Yeah, that's exactly. Okay.
So, I don't think there wasn't a business decision made, but at the same time, if he had, let's put it this way, he wouldn't have played regardless. He's not under contract. Something happens, he's out all the monies. If he would have signed a 5-year deal, $200 million deal, do you think that they would have risked their future investment of guaranteed money with him maybe re-aggravating that injury? I bet you if he signed, they wouldn't have played him. They wouldn't have played him. He would have said he wanted to play, and they wouldn't have played him.
I just don't see the Ravens, who doesn't normally ever sign quarterbacks to big money. Normally.
Well, I mean, when you say normally, they gave Joe Flacco the bag.
Correct.
And before Joe Flacco, the quarterbacks didn't get big money.
But that's the thing, is that he wasn't a good quarterback, but he won the Super Bowl, and so he was.
He was a great quarterback the year that they won the Super Bowl,
and then fell off the cliff. Pretty much, right? So I think they should pay him, but I don't think they will.
I hope they don't. I hope he's gone. I hope the Jets come calling. Just get him out of the AFC North.
Yeah,
he's a dynamic player. I don't want him around.
No.
When they got him, I was like, man, they had a chance to be bad. And that dude is a one-man wrecking crew. So I have no problem with him not playing.
Yeah.
And making a business decision / career decision.
Yeah, I was curious if you thought like the way it was handled, because that's going to be the result of what the way it's going to land.
You look at what RG3 said. He goes, look at my career. That's the reason you don't play with a PCL issue.
Yeah.
You don't wear a brace. I did that wanting to play for my team, be a dog, be a member, and it cost me a career, essentially.
Dude,
he
look at
wasn't the same
RG3.
person.
He completely got a new career, and he's doing
he's a
good.
stud at it. He's a
He's
stud
really
at college
good at it.
football, calling it. He's great on TV.
He's just smart. It's a great, yeah. All right. So I want to talk about. So we're covering the Suns. You're doing the game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing Sunday.
Yep.
But last night, I got to cover the game with Brooklyn, and I got to meet one of the greats, Isaiah Thomas, shake his hand, take a picture. He's had a little bit of a talk. Thank you. You're
a little bit of a talk.
It was. He's so respectful.
I told him, I said, don't feel bad that Michael Jordan hates you. No, that was not said.
He's
joking.
so kind and such a gentleman. Like he very, very much. He shook my hand as soon as I met him, and then before I walked away and said thank you, he made sure he put his hand out and he said thank you as well. I appreciate that, but that was like that was mind blowing. I'm like, that's Isaiah.
that's Zeke.
Yeah.
For those in the know, that's his nickname, is Zeke, which is Isaiah Zeke. Yeah,
we get it. But it was awesome. So now we can get into it.
As I just hit the John Tesh NBA music, now we can get in the NFL.
That's what I said.
All right. So we're gonna let this music run just a little bit longer, and you know what I'll do is I'll cut it down because I can do that. Look at that over here. All right. So you're not going to hear our great NFL music that we usually run right now because we are moving on to topics. But real quick, I want to get into the topic of last week because, of course, there was all these great games last week. We had that Miami Dolphins game was pretty much – that game went a lot harder than people expected it to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For them starting Skylar Thompson and everything that went down with them and having to play the way they did, I don't think Buffalo played down. I don't think Buffalo played down at all. I think Miami played well. Miami played themselves well enough to fire a bunch of coaches.
Well,
That's what happened. That's what happened. They fired a bunch of coaches. Yeah. Now, I will tell you this.
Yeah.
The biggest thing to come out of that game, so there's a little bit of controversy. And I showed you this morning. I can't believe you didn't see this. I noticed that the day, like watching it live on TV, I was like, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? And I could be wrong. People see what they want to see. But the internet is ablaze. Yeah. And I use that term specifically for this. Maybe take a look at some photos here for me, sir. Okay, Ryan? This is Exhibit A. Okay? We're going to go ahead and add this in here right here. Bang. Okay. Oh, here. I want to get our beautiful face over there. So you see over here, you see this? See him looking down? Looks like he's trying to make a decision. Mike McDaniel's standing,
it's not like
going to make a decision here. And his decision is, pow! Exactamundo. What is that, sir? What is going on there? Here, I got to point this way to it. What is that going on right there on his lips? Now, if the video was to slide more, they cut away from him. But if you watch the video, and I didn't put the video clip because we don't own the video clip. These are pictures, ladies and gentlemen. Watching him do it is very, very obvious that he's sucking on something.
It's a lot more suspect, and it's not.
I got no problem with it because I should have gone further and brought the photos of John Madden on the sideline burning a cig. Some of these other guys burning cigs on the sideline, different time, I understand. But this is the time of these types of things. This is what vapors do. They hide it in the hand, sir. We've all seen this move, sir. We've all seen this move. We've done this move in an NFL stadium before. Not when we were radio, but back in the day, I'm just saying. Not as a head coach on the sidelines, which mad respect, by the way. That is pretty impressive. And it doesn't matter. It's his prerogative. It could be CBD. It could be I got a little bit of anxiety. It's my first game coaching a playoff game by myself. I don't have my QB, but I got my vape.
So let's talk about this because this is some bullshit. First off,
take a look. He's looking down.
Yeah, no comment on doing this before because that hasn't happened. But
of course not.
Doing this, the pictures don't do it justice like you.
No, the video definitely take a look at it, ladies and gentlemen. The video definitely gets.
But when you're doing that and then you put up the sheet, you blow out the smoke. I mean, it's like.
Did you see that part? I don't know if that's what he did. I thought he ghosted it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's for another topic conversation what the term ghost means, but I thought he ghosted it.
It looks like it.
Oh, does it really? See, I didn't go that far.
But it's cold, right? So it's
perfect to sky, bro. Yeah. Come on. Again, we've all done this. I love it.
But do you want your head coach smoking during a game? Oh, fuck no.
I don't care.
No, I'm sorry. If you want to take a little bit of a break, like maybe 2 hours before the game so you can calm your nerves.
Who even said it was that? Maybe it's just a Juul. It's nicotine. Coaches smoked on the sidelines in the 60s, 70s. They had no problem. Len Dawson smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer at halftime of the Super Bowl.
If it's nicotine, I have no problem. I highly doubt it's nicotine.
Could have been CBD. It's legal.
Even CBD.
CBD is not mind altering.
But yes, it is.
All right, we're going to go off the rails here with this conversation.
You.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So it changes what your natural ability. So like the energy.
I would love for you to have a conversation with pro basketball players that are retired and ask them how many did altering stuff before going on the field.
Oh,
how many NFL players are popped full of painkillers and stuff and go on the field?
That is what I'm asking.
Are they executing from a personal standpoint? I don't know that I could function that way.
Okay.
But there are other people. We'll go with Allen Iverson, just as an example, played basketball high every day in the NBA. Every day. Could I do that? No. But for him, it worked.
So what I'm saying
So you're going to tell me that if he didn't do that, we wouldn't have had Allen Iverson?
It's different for players. I honestly believe. Players, it's different because they go through so much more, so it's good on their body. And with what they're doing, the decisions that they're making, they're already being told what the play is going to be. So as a coach, to game plan, to think of 2 steps forward, to like just the way in my head, and maybe I'm completely friggin' wrong. I don't like it. If that's weed, like that shit should get investigated. Like it's right.
Listen to you. Will you stop it?
If they're gonna investigate,
are they? They're not investigating.
No, they're not going to.
Listen. Your wife, who cares? If it's a tobacco-free zone, find him and move on. I don't think they're going with anything.
I really don't care. I'm just being more of a dick.
Because but it's interesting.
It's just I've never seen that in today's age.
With all but again, does it really matter? If we go back and look at, we have all the greats in the lore. I mean, Madden, for Christ's sake. Madden, John Madden, the staple, the standard of the standard for when it comes to NFL football.
Wait, what's his name again?
John motherfucking Madden.
Okay.
John Madden. Yeah. EA Sports, it's in the game, John Madden. There are plenty of videos of him burning a cig on the sideline while coaching.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Len Dawson drinking a beer, like I said, drinking a beer and having a smoke. Other coaches having a smoke. Other coaches drinking. Like
there's the fucking
there's optics.
The story of Boggs friggin' drinking all those beers. Sonny made
bro baseball. I'm gonna butcher his name. It's an old pit. Oh my god, I feel so bad. Pat's probably, if he's not watching, but when he watches, he's gonna go, dude, you know exactly who it was. There was a pitcher in the Major League Baseball that pitched on LSD like often, and they knew he was high.
For the A's.
Yeah, and I'm completely losing my mind on who he is. But that cat. Oh, see.
Doc Ellis?
There we go. Thank you, Doc Ellis.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't Jimi Hendrix played the greatest guitar of all time because he was mind altered. Some of the people's greatest art happens when they are not in their right state of mind.
Oh, that's absolutely.
So if calling a game can be considered an art, especially for high-end guys like an Andy Reid and these guys, it is a work of art. Then, hey, I'm just saying. All right, real quick, too, shout out all Cardinals. He says this is the easiest franchise tag Baltimore will ever place for the next 2 seasons is on Lamar. Now, I saw, shout out Donnie D. Check him out on Fan Nation. I did see that they weren't sure if they were going to use apparently this is a thing, a franchise tag, the exclusive or the non-exclusive franchise tag.
Yeah.
So one indicates you have to give up 2 first-round picks if we don't match your offer. And then the other one, I might butcher this, but the other one I think is there's nothing you can do. You can't offer us jack squat. But here's what it is. I do remember. Man, for sometimes when my mind doesn't work, it's working. It is one of them.
Some LSD?
No, one of them is the top 5 average salary at your position over the last 5 years. And then the exclusive one is top 5 average of your position in the current year. That's a big difference in money.
Yeah.
So that's where that plays. I did remember, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out me for remembering that. He says, okay, and we get one more here. Donnie bringing it up. He needs a lock. Bills are frauds and didn't cover for him. Hey, man. Bills didn't cover for a lot of people, Donnie. I think that was a surprise to everybody.
Yep.
In that regard. Now, honestly, because I fell asleep and never went back to look, did Cincy end up covering that Baltimore game at 10? Because I know they were like up 4, and then they had that return 6 by homeboy.
No.
What was the score?
17-24.
Really? Oh, they went down and kicked the field goal later or something? Because they only won by 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they didn't get to 10.
Donnie, we'll get to that. We're definitely going to get to this need a lock. So I'm going to pull up. Here we go.
Here, while you're pulling that up, I want to cover a couple stats I think that are really.
All right. While you're doing, I'm going to show the folks at home, the folks that are watching. If you're listening, I'm sorry. There's a lot of visuals this week because we are live on YouTube, live on I believe Twitter right now as well. So if you're on our Twitter, all 34 followers that we have, shout out them. You can see this live. Here's the breakdown of your 4 games remaining. Your Kansas City, your Jacksonville. The game of I'm assuming that's the game of the week is Cincy at Buffalo, a rematch of that Monday Night Football game with everything that went down.
That's going to be
DeMar Hamlin in the building. He was at Bill's practice yesterday. He was in there being working on. He's been getting treated. Yeah, but there's a difference of being at practice and being at practice. Now he's in the training room getting treatment. There's things that are happening. I heard something that they said he was going to be back full force on Saturday. So is full force mean you're playing?
That's what I heard too.
Bro, if that's the case, here's the thing. From a psychological standpoint, that's great for the Bills and probably good for the Bengals. But at the same time, that was a team that this just happened at. Your last game on the field was against them, and that happened against them. I understand it was a freak accident, and he's going to be fine, or he is fine. But, like, the scariness of that, is that in your head as a player, all the players, on both sides? You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be an interesting situation. Saturday, that is an unbelievable situation. You got the Kansas City-Jacksonville game.
I can't imagine him coming out. Like, put him on the sidelines. Give him a headset. Like, let him be part of it. But God damn, don't let him play, please.
Who's to say if you're medically cleared and everything says fine, and the guy says he's fine and he wants to play? What do you do? Here's the thing: you're gonna eventually have to make that first time back again. Whether I know the optics, it's a week later, or 2 weeks later, and it's the same team and it's in the playoffs. But what if he didn't play and he waited until next year? All the build up for him to play his first game. Like,
that's great.
I have a hard time with it.
Okay.
I have a hard time either way.
So before we get into all the games, some of the stats I wanted to talk about. So the 4 highest paid QBs in our league, in the NFL, didn't make the playoffs.
Say that again?
4 highest paid QBs. So you have Rodgers at $50 million, Wilson at $49 million, Watson at are no longer in the playoffs. Let me say that. Sorry. Watson at 46 and Murray at 46. None of them are in the playoffs anymore. And that's
weren't in at all.
Right.
Well, look at how many.
The NFL sends out a memo that they're friggin', you got to stop firing on these fucking coaches because we owe $800 million to these ex-coaches, but yet you're paying these fucking players that, like, it's so ridiculous how much money that is.
Yes, but at the same time, most of these teams that win the Super Bowl or go far don't have that. They eventually end up with that high-priced quarterback, but maybe not in the moment because they weren't a first number 1 overall pick.
I feel like it's normally like you're going to have that second, third-year quarterback. Like,
let's look and see. Mahomes was a top 10 or top 15 draft pick. I think he was number 10 or 13 or something. So he was, you had him. He's won a Super Bowl. Brady was 6th round, right?
Yep.
Roethlisberger, I know goes back a ways, but he was a first-round pick.
Yep.
He'd won. Eli Manning, first-round pick. He won. Too. Peyton Manning, first-round pick. Like overalls, like these elite guys.
Okay.
But other than that, and Trent Dilfer, because he was number 5 pick overall in the draft. Ravens, even though he was drafted by Tampa, he was a top 5 pick. You don't have a lot of guys that are first-round picks that win the Super Bowl. Typically, first-round pick guys.
Flacco.
Flacco was the last pick in the first round.
Okay.
Or maybe not the last pick in the first round, but he was a first-round pick.
What I'm saying is, so then you could say, like, for example, your favorite player in the NFL, he fell off a fucking cliff after winning, in his second year? Wilson? He fucking sucks.
Hold on. Yeah, but that was like he won a Super Bowl 7 years ago. Like,
I know, but what I'm saying is
he didn't have the contract when he won when they won the first Super Bowl. He didn't have the contract. Then they gave him all the money.
That's
not
what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can win and be very successful. Like, even like look at the Niners with Purdy. If we win this year, like, that's setting yourself up because you're only paying a small amount. Like it was roughly around $500.
But they will have to.
Correct. But what I'm saying is that people can win
Yeah.
with good quarterbacks
Yes.
that are young.
Yeah.
And that's where the success
Yeah.
lies.
But it ends up being those quarterbacks end up getting paid, and then down the line end up on that same list of making this much money and not making the playoffs.
Correct. And then they get traded or cut or whatever. It's just, God damn, $50 million fucking dollars. That's whatever. All right, let's get into games. The other stat I have, I'll bring up when we get into the second game.
All right. So first game of Saturday, Kansas City, Jacksonville. They want to get this game over early. Jacksonville is a great story. Trevor Lawrence, first half, worst half of a playoff game in NFL history potentially. Even though 2 of the 4 picks were not his fault, still falls on him.
Yeah.
Second half, potentially one of the greatest
comeback,
period to play. And so the tale of two halves, obviously, a lot of people said that, beating that drum. But to see that and to see them be able to do this, and they have real talent in the coaching, they believe in it, but they're running into a buzzsaw. I know it's -9. I think it's -9. Kansas City's a 9-point favorite.
Yeah.
You taking Jacksonville to cover that 9? Listen, they played them earlier in the year and they covered.
Yes, and here's the thing: is that
I know they played.
Jacksonville has completely changed around. I know you've talked about Coach of the Year coming out of there, right?
Could be, and I get it. Daboll will get it, but
oh!
I don't believe he should. I don't think Daboll should get it.
Yeah,
because I don't think he should get it.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyways,
just because there's other guys who've done better. Anyways, continue.
So Mahomes is special again this year. Like, I'm not saying he hasn't been, but the things that he's doing, he's very, very confident in with what he has. I could see this being a friggin' blowout, but for whatever reason, when I think that, if I choose the other way, it works. So I am taking Jacksonville. I do believe Kansas City will win. I think it will be a touchdown. I don't think it'll be a 10-point game. I think it'll be a 7-point game.
All right, here's what you need to know. The last 3 times they've played them. Actually, let's just go to the last game. The last game was November 13th. Didn't play that long ago. 27-17. They lost by 10. I think it was a 13.5-point spread. Okay, the over-under was 51.5. They didn't cover. Look, the point spread was 9.5. They won by 10. So they barely covered. But they covered. Completion percentage, they both were at like 75%. They both threw over like 240 yards. Like, there was stuff going on, but here's the difference. Kansas City had 3 turnovers and still won that game. 3 turnovers and still won that game. That's not Jacksonville losing the ball. That is they had, and Jacksonville threw more attempts. And that was in Kansas City, yo.
Who are you taking? I need that. Okay.
Just to give you some.
No, I know. I mean, I understand. I'm just, and everything in my head tells me to Kansas City.
Seeing Jacksonville fall down like they did last week and come back, again, and we talked about that San Diego team. Mm-hmm. I'm going to refer to them to San Diego because they're playing like the San Diego Chargers. This is what happens to that franchise. Coming from a Browns fan, that's saying a lot. But they will continue to have this current situation. Jacksonville felt like they had life. They were able to come back. The San Diego Chargers are not the Kansas City Chiefs. They wish they were. They are not. Granted, this is one of those things. Game could be close. It could also be 31-10. I think the magic runs out on Jacksonville this week. I'm taking Kansas City minus the 9. 63% of the money is on that bet. And 67% of the money is under the 52 because of what happened last week.
Okay, I believe I'm going to stick with my bet. Since you're going Kansas City, I'm going to stick with Jacksonville just because it's worked.
That it has.
So, next game.
So, the surprise, besides Jacksonville, of the NFL and the NFL playoffs would be your New York Football Giants.
The team I predicted.
Shout out Paulie Pockets. Driving home the other day, we see his lights on his cross street over here. We see his lights on his house, and they're all lit up, and I thought it was for the New York Football Giants colors because it kind of looked like that. No, it's for Valentine's Day, but it still looked like that, so I gave him some grief, and we went back and forth about it.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I know. Hey, he's an East Coast guy. I don't know. Anyways, your New York Football Giants on the road at the Link against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles a 7.5. I think I have 7.5-point favorite. 68% of the money is on the Giants.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
68% of the money's on the Giants, my friend.
here's a couple
My
different
skinny friend.
What cold therapy does to you. Thank you, Nick Crawford. So the Giants haven't won in Philly in almost a decade.
Okay.
So that's one stat. What I saw, did you see their practice, the Giants practice yesterday at the end?
No.
This team, and with what Daniel Jones, they're now saying that he's back. He's going to be their quarterback for at least the next 2 to 3 years, which I think is surprising.
He played himself into a contract.
He absolutely did. What he ran for, like 75 yards? And
he busts the rushing over almost every game.
And then Barkley looks good. Like, I know Philly is absolutely the better team. Man, I am taking upsets all week. I'm taking the Giants on this one as well.
You got them to win, or you're taking a +7? Because I need to hear you say they're going to win, or are you taking a +7?
I'm taking the +7.5.
All right, I'm taking Philly -7. I think that they're, because I hate the Giants. So sorry. Look, the last time they played each other, Philly won 22-16. Philly was a 17-point favorite. Obviously, they didn't cover. This was back, bro, that was January 8th.
Yeah, 27-0 and then 27-7 before that. Oh, wait, no, excuse me. It was 16-22 in January.
What?
And then 10-34.
What are you talking about?
The scores of the games. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I care about that one.
But this is at home.
Oh,
yeah, but
what I was talking about is that this.
I was
is
like,
when,
wait a minute. I'm looking at the last 2 games just to have an idea.
Just what they're playing. I thought you were talking about at Philly.
No. Philly scored 48 on them in New York in December. 48-22. They were only a 7-point favorite. So this was in December. And then they come back and play 4 weeks later to the day. They're a 17-point favorite. They don't cover 22-16. They still win. So this is day bowl, both games. Okay, so I'm not looking past prior to that because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter,
dude. He has that team. So
no, I'm saying it doesn't matter to look past that if Daniel Jones wasn't, if Daboll wasn't the coach.
Oh yeah.
To go back to the third or fourth or fifth game, it doesn't matter.
No,
it
doesn't, and that's why I honestly, everything that I believe is in that coaching, and that's the only reason I'm picking this team.
So you think Daboll's a better coach than Sirianni? Is that what you're saying?
That's a hard thing. They're
probably very similar.
You know how, like, I love to read people, and I feel like I have a good vibe of people for the most part. Obviously, I'm wrong sometimes. Just seeing the attitude and the moxie, the excitement, the way that Daboll freaking coaches, I think he has this team on another level, and there's always going to be, like we said, there's going to be a couple upsets this week, right?
So there's going to be one, and so far I haven't picked it. I don't know which one it's going to be. I will say this, though. I don't like knowing that in the last 10
years?
No, the last 8 games on the road, Philly's 2-6 against the spread.
That's on the road.
Right. At home, they're 6-3.
Okay.
The Giants on the road are 8-1 at covering the spread.
Yep. I've been telling you, man, I called this shit in August. I know that I got freaking lucky. I'm not this was something that I just believed
Giants
in.
are 5-0 against the spread the last 5. Total's gone over 6 in the last 9. Giants are 8-4.
Can you imagine if
8-4 against the spread the last 12 games against Philly? Giants are 8-1 against the spread in the last 9 on the road. Now, Philly's 1-4 in the last 5 games against the spread.
It doesn't matter because that's too far back.
I know. I'm just looking at it.
Okay.
This isn't against this. This isn't against. No. What the fuck? You think that I'm talking about them just playing the Giants? This is overall. The Giants are 1-4 in their last 5 games, period, against the spread. Not against the Giants, just their last 5 games in total. So it's just saying the total has gone under in 6 of the 9 last games that Philly's played against the Giants. The total's gone over 11 of the last 14 home games. Not against the Giants, just in general.
Okay.
So with all that being said, I still don't like it. I still don't like the fact that I'm picking Philly at -7, but I'm sticking with it anyways.
Can you imagine if the Giants and the Cowboys win? How fucked up that would be?
Well, hey, you know what that would be great for?
Nothing.
That would be great for the AFC and whoever's coming out of there.
So, yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay.
So that's Saturday. You've got the Giants winning the game?
No, covering.
So you have Philly winning, Kansas City winning, but neither of them are going to cover.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants win, but I'm just taking them covering.
Okay. All right, now the Sunday games.
All right. Bengals at Bills.
Rematch, like we said, of that last Monday night game that we had for the season, ended really abruptly, very scary. You know, we've gone through all that. We're not going to continue to go through that.
Yeah, they canceled it, and then it shook up.
But now Cincinnati's rolling in here with a chip on their shoulder saying we should be hosting this game first off because we feel like we were going to win that game.
Well, they went to the Super Bowl last year. They went on the same run last year.
They're down a couple more offensive linemen that they brought in to shore up that offensive line for Joey B.
Correct.
That's a concern because Buffalo has dogs on the edges. Buffalo has a good defense. They have weapons everywhere. It's in Buffalo. They got the minutia and the magic of DeMar Hamlin and number 3 and all of that stuff.
But Buffalo turns it over.
Cincinnati turns the ball over too.
Yeah, that's good.
Cincinnati turns the ball over.
Who has more turnovers? I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, it's probably Buffalo.
But this is going to be. I honestly want Buffalo to win, but I don't think they're going to.
Really?
I don't think that we've seen where they just don't have that next level, and Josh Allen wants it so bad that he makes big mistakes that affect the game.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. So, like on that let's say on a last play, he's going to take it himself and try and run and then fumble, get it knocked out, lose the game. Like that's the type of shit that like he wants it so bad. And Joe Burrow is so fucking even-keeled.
And I have to eat my words. I mean, Zach Taylor's a really good head coach, and they got it right. I hate it that they got it right, but they got it right. Plus 5.5, man. It's hard to not take Buffalo when you've been pounding that, and everybody has that Buffalo should be in the Super Bowl.
Okay, so
part of me feels like we're going to have a Kelsey Brothers Super Bowl, Philly, Kansas City. Honestly,
I mean that's what it. A lot of people think, but I think
it's easy to say that they're the number 1 seeds and they got I understand that.
Yeah, but
they still have to play the games.
Everybody's still really high on the Niners too, like putting them in the power rankings. But Josh Allen had 14 interceptions, so this isn't including fumbles. This is just interceptions. And then Burrow had 12.
Okay,
compared to 35 and 35.
So I'm gonna take Buffalo to win, Cincy to cover. Plus 5.5. Give me a field goal game. Come down to the end. Whoever's got the ball last scores and wins.
Are we going to pick every game different?
Opposite? Did we? Have we so far?
Yes.
This is going to be a shit weekend for one of us.
I'm taking the Bengals.
I took the Bengals, so we stay with it. I took Bengals plus 5.5.
Oh, plus. Oh,
I got them to cover. I think Buffalo will win, but I got them to cover because I think it's going to be that close. And then I'll let you get on your high horse with this.
I want to just pick different. What are you picking the Niners? Because if you're going to pick the Cowboys, then I'm going to fucking pick the Bills.
Well, no, pick who you're going to pick because you think who's going to pick. Don't pick just because you want to be opposite.
I do. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
That's some ESPN producing that shit right there.
No, it ain't.
We have to be opposite. Just like going to dinner and going, well, we can't order the same thing. When you eat at home, you guys all eat the same thing. Why, when you go to dinner, you can't eat the same thing? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm lost by this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm lost by the fact that you can't order the same thing at dinner. Oh, you got the salmon, so I can't get the salmon.
Okay, fine.
So you can't pick one because you think that I'm going to – come on, now. What?
No, fuck it. I'm taking the Bills. I'm going opposite.
You're going opposite. Sure about that?
Yep. All right. Come on.
So what do you think?
You know what? This is going to be the greatest season, and I'm going to walk away from football if the Niners win the Super Bowl because we will have.
Hold on. What'd you just say?
Listen, beating my wife's team.
Uh-huh.
Beating my mom's team. Most likely the number 1 seed.
2 beers.
And then win the Super Bowl.
A shot of whiskey. A margarita.
This could be not only the greatest season as far as with what personally it did for me, but this also might be the greatest 49ers team. And that's saying something.
I need you to shut your fucking mouth. Did you just say this could be the greatest?
I don't want to fucking
You are
use,
so disrespectful to the lore of
you
your
don't
own
even
team.
No, don't even talk to me because you don't even put Jerry Rice as number one, and it's stupid because he holds all the records. Like, stop. So I'm telling you, I've had eyes on every Niners team, like since the '80s. Are you kidding me? I said this could be. I didn't say it is.
If they win the Super Bowl, they are, in your opinion. That's what you're going to say. That's what you were going to say. If they win the Super Bowl, you would consider this to be the greatest Niners team of all time. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
No, what I am saying is that if we dominate and go through this, what we just did last week, if we do that every game and we win the Super Bowl and we handle the Eagles and, like, let's say Kansas City or Cincinnati or Buffalo, you're going to tell me that we're not up there?
It could be, but I mean, that's a strong statement considering you guys won 5 fucking Super Bowls, have 2 of the greatest quarterbacks, quote unquote, of all time, the greatest receiver in most people's eyes of all time, one of the greatest free safeties of all time. You have all of these players. Oh, and arguably the 3rd or 4th greatest coach of all time in Bill Walsh. You're going to compare this group to that group after one Super Bowl run.
Yep. I'm not going to argue.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's wrong with America. You hear this shit? You think because they had one great run that they're the greatest. It's the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time. My God in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Are you out of your mind?
You're just mad because you've never had a run like this before.
No,
fine.
Listen, we did. It was just before my grandfather's lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. The Browns had a run like this. They went to 10 championships in 10 years. They won 7. 5 of those were NFL. What? Just had to be before they called it the Super Bowl. So, yeah, we've had a run. The reason that you have face masks, sir, we're going on this tangent, ladies and gentlemen. The reason you have face masks in the NFL, the reason you have earbuds and the coach can talk to them is because of the Cleveland Browns, because of Otto Graham, because of that dynasty, because they created that shit. Now, they sometimes got the radioing of the police or the fire department because, you know, wasn't, or the vendor telling them the hot dogs are ready at section 204. That may have happened, but the reason it's around is because of it. Don't tell me I don't know about a fucking dynasty when I see one. You need to just calm yourself and living in the moment. You should be happy that your team is this good and they have a chance, a legitimate shot of winning the Super Bowl, because they legitimately do. Listen, they are one of the best teams in the league this season. But if you're going to put them up there with those guys, and yeah, I still keep Jerry Rice at like number 3 or 4, and I still would consider that better. You are out of your – wow. You're out of your mind.
You, Ohio –
you are out of your – yeah.
You bring – we're talking – I never said dynasty, first off.
You said one of the greatest teams of all time. You're comparing it to a dynasty.
No. A dynasty is when you continuously win.
Did you guys not win 5 in like what was that time period you guys won 5 Super Bowls?
The 80s through the, 94?
So you did that in about a 10-year period? You guys won 5 in a 10-year period?
Yeah,
that's a fucking dynasty.
Okay. But it wasn't the same team every year. It was like completely.
No, yeah, you're right. It was 4 with Joe and 1 with
Steve.
Yeah. There's your change.
Okay. And
was Jerry Rice on all those
teams?
We've
gone to 2 Super Bowls since then, and then 1 or 2 other NFC championships. I'm saying this team, you have to put eyes on it. I'm just saying it could be. I'm not saying it's a dynasty. I'm not saying it is the greatest team. It could be.
Sounds like you're backtracking.
Fuck no.
It sounds like you're backtracking a little bit. It's okay. You can backtrack a little bit. It's okay.
Let's talk about face mask and bullshit from Ohio.
Hey, fine then. Play the football. Let's imagine that never happened. Put your fucking leather helmets on and strap it up, boys. And your coach is going to be yelling at you with signs and fucking flashcards. Let's just take it away. You want to?
I just love how we're talking about the Niners, and then you turn it into a dynasty.
Because you brought it up. You brought it up.
And you bring it back to Ohio.
You said to me,
roads lead back.
Well, considering that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is in Canton.
Oh, my God.
All roads do lead back to Ohio. In this instance, factually correct. All roads in the NFL do lead back to Ohio. Because if you're the great of the great, guess where you end up? Canton. Where the fuck is that at? The great state of Ohio. Case closed. You guys have a chance. You have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Moving on. You have the Niners playing who? The Giants. Mm-hmm. That's who you have?
Mm-hmm.
And then the AFC, who do you have?
Since I
Kansas City, Buffalo?
I was going to take the Bengals, but since you didn't do that, so now I'm doing the Bills and Jags. That's what I picked.
Yeah,
No, because I took the Chiefs to win, but yes,
Yeah.
correct. So Kansas City Bills.
Kansas City, Buffalo, and you've got San Francisco, the Giants.
Yeah.
I already know you're going to take San Francisco over the Giants. Makes sense.
Which it's what I would rather see.
Yeah, of course. Of course you'd rather see the Giants.
Yeah. And plus, then we're home.
Yeah, that would be helpful too.
Yeah. And I think this is the first year that we've been so much better at home since moving to Levi's.
Yeah. Hey, a good fitting pair of jeans take time.
I've been wearing it.
It takes time. You had to break it in. It took the whole season of bullshit last year to break in the stadium. Now you guys have jeans fit perfect.
They do.
They do. They stretch where they need to stretch.
They might be the greatest fans of all time.
You know, there's no arguing the Levi thing, but the stadium thing, definitely arguing. That's a good callback. I'll give you that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right.
All right.
Donnie still asked for a lock. So what's your lock? What is it that you see is 100% going to happen this weekend?
Niners.
So Niners point spread?
Oh, absolutely. -4.
All right. You heard it there. He's got Niners -4. Lock. Donnie D. Lock it in.
And that's not like me being a
I know
homer.
it's not. I think -4
if you look at all of these spreads, that's the lowest spread. And I think we're the most dominant team right now. So, yes. Hell yeah, that's a lock.
Oh, it's -4 because that's hilarious. I thought I fixed it. Apparently I didn't. I'm still rolling last week's ticker. What the hell happened? I fixed it. I just looked now. I fixed this, ladies and gentlemen. It's been running the wrong ticker the whole show, so pay attention. None of that. It says divisional round. Wait a minute. Oh, that's what I didn't do. Hold on. I'm going to take that off of here real quick. No, yeah, you know what I didn't do? I put the 4 games in. CC, Jacksonville, Kansas City. Oh, yeah. Philly. Oh, yeah. This one right here. We need to remove all of that. Delete. Save. Show. Bang, there we go.
Fuck
hey,
no.
Listen.
Ohio, fuck.
It happens. Yeah. That's what you – hey, when you are essentially the one-man producer, because you're talent, you know what I'm saying? But, like, we got lights, camera, all this shit. We need a producer. We have a producer, but it's hard to have him here on a Friday when he works.
You're the brains, I'm the face, and the wild card.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not the height. Although, ladies and gentlemen, if you do notice, there's a little bit more height here.
This
Brooks.
fucking dude is wearing boots.
I'm wearing boots.
He took them off and dropped like 2 inches.
I went from 5'11 3/4 to 5'9 3/4.
Oh,
and I'm being very generous with that 3/4.
And you probably stacked some Snickers
I didn't
inside.
stack no Snickers. Listen. Oh, actually, you people will not care about this. But you, sir, will find this to be pretty funny. Took Kale to his first flag football game ever. He had practice on Saturdays, first game ever. First off, kid's got the dopest cleats ever. Black on black Jordans. The flights, they're so clean.
Yeah.
Right? Swagged out. Got the sticky purple Minnesota Vikings gloves ready to go. Got his hair pulled back in a man bun that we had to watch a video on YouTube and his buddy had to do it for him, but that's neither here nor there.
The beast that is. We
get there, and on the field, we're waiting for our boys to go on. I look over and I see Dustin Hanson.
Are you kidding me?
And their father sitting there, Mr. Hanson. So hilariously, ladies and gentlemen, this is somebody we worked with for years, over a decade at University of Phoenix back in the day. He was in our fantasy football league for 10 years. Yeah. So it was just so funny seeing him there. It's like every time I see this dude every few years, it's at an I&I sporting event in Gilbert. His kids' team has been together for 7 years. They scored 40 by the first half. Our kids are going to get destroyed when they play them. Eventually, they will play them. But that doesn't matter as long as they're having fun. But I figured you'd appreciate that, the fact that I saw
well, you have to say hi.
Dustin. I did. And he says he follows. He says that him and Dayton need to start a podcast just so they can go to games like us. And I said, that's probably a pretty good idea.
It's fun.
So,
all right. So, hey. So,
other than losing my shit with you on a couple of heinous things you said, this is a pretty good show. I think we're on the same path. I got Kansas City, Buffalo. And I've got
you have Eagles,
Philly,
Niners. Okay.
Damn, I'm kind of wanting to take Cincy in that. But I got to stick with what I picked originally. I'm going to stick with Buffalo and all the mojo. If Cincinnati can roll into Buffalo and beat them with all that's going against them, they have a legitimate chance. Not legit. I mean, shit, he's 3-0 against Pat Mahomes, right? They've been pumping that up, right? So rolling to Kansas City is going to have a lot of swag. If they make it to back-to-back Super Bowls, as a Browns fan,
Burrow's going to get fucking paid.
I am so disgusted. so disgusted that we were bad 1 year too early.
Oh, it does.
We were
lead
bad
back
1
to
year. We were
Ohio.
bad 1 year too early.
You can just put stripes on there.
Fuck that. But anyway,
all right.
good week.
Let's have one.
I'll see you. I mean, hopefully your team doesn't win, but
Let's
neither
make
here nor there.
some good bets.
Yeah, I need to probably put one in. I haven't done that.
I'll
do that. I was looking at it. I was almost teasing the point spread just to give me something. I teased everything 6 points one way, and I got you guys at plus. You're the only one I took past the edge. I put everybody else up. So Jacksonville plus 60. Like I put everybody else over, but I flipped. And I don't like doing that. But flipping across from the minus to the plus with you guys, it was like to do all of that. It was like plus 250.
Yeah, I've
wasn't
played
worth it
around
in my
with a
opinion
bunch
because it was
of
only a
it,
game.
and it's not. Yeah, there hasn't been a lot that has been worth it. It's going to be a lot of more in-game parlays. So we'll see.
Which I'm sure there's a few of those coming up. What does happen this weekend? I'm gonna have to play it just because Oh, it does. I don't know if it does play that. I am in. No, never mind. I don't think I have it on here. I thought I had the Macho Man going the cream. Yeah, cream rises to the top. Because that's where we're at. Well, I think I got.
We in a position that I'd rather not be in.
Which is the Cleveland Browns. We are unjustifiably in a position that we'd rather not be in.
Yep.
Watching the Cincinnati Bengals roll through the playoffs for a second year. We don't even acknowledge that Cincinnati's in the fucking state of Ohio. And now that team is going to potentially go to back-to-back Super Bowls. It's just, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm currently fucking depressed with this. So, all right, we're out of here. Have a great week. See you on Monday.
One love. Oh.